should probably add myself to the studio if I'm going to go live and do this like a professional. What's up, everybody? It's not a PLE night, but it's John Cena's last time in Boston, Massachusetts. It's one of his 4 final appearances. And Green Shirt Guy was there. And if Green Shirt Guy is there, genuinely speaking, that means it's an important evening in the world of professional wrestling. That guy goes to all the major events, and why not talk about John Cena's final time in Boston? And it was a big one. It was a doozy. Now, I might have a guest joining me. I might not, as you saw in the tweet, but I couldn't let John Cena's final time in Boston go without being discussed. So welcome in as I get myself situated here to the Triple P, Pluggo's PLE post show, but today it's a special edition Raw Reacts post show situation. Like I said, Green Shirt Guy was in the house. John Cena was in the house one final time at TD Gardens. And it was a good show. I had a really solid time. They front-loaded it, I will say, for the crowd, because I think the crowd would have took it over if they would have waited for what happened at the beginning. But the crowd seemed a little out of it, but that doesn't mean that I had a bad time. Just because you guys burnt yourself out after John Cena showed up doesn't make me the bad guy here. But if you're in the chat, say hello. If you're on any platform, hit that like button, that share button, that subscribe button. We are gearing up for the big-time Boris Extreme Extravaganza. His 40-hour live stream here starts next weekend. I'll be a part of it. Mrs. Pluggo will be a part of it. What's up, Fernando? So smash that link right there. 100% of the money that you raised on Twitch bits, subs, and that donation goes to a great cause. Please hit that up. If you're over on Twitch, the bits help, the likes help, all the loves. Congratulations, John Cena. We're about to dive into it, Fernando. First and foremost, how are you, friend? What did you think of tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw? I was just saying before you hopped in, I had a great time. But like I said, I'm putting over Big Bad Boris, a 40-hour stream. I have a tough enough time working 40 hours in a week. 5 days, the 9 to 5 grind thing. I have a tough enough time doing that. He's going to go 40 straight. And I love the man for it. It's for a great cause. I'm happy that he lets me be a part of his shtick. So go check that out. It was an excellent Raw. We're going to jump right into it. Like I said, Spencer Love might show up. He might not. I don't know. He didn't make any guarantees, but he told me to just chug along. So it started off with Triple H. Well, to be fair, they started off with the last time in Boston. John Cena. They gave us a tour of John Cena's life in Boston and West Newbury, Mass. It's funny. Fun fact. I actually, when they showed the shot of TD Gardens with those bridges, I was like, holy shit, I drove on those bridges with JPJ when I was there for Bound for Glory. So I was like, oh, I know exactly where that's at now. Because I lived it. I lived it, guys. Boris is a soldier, Fernando, an absolute saint of a man for be doing what he's doing. But Triple H comes out, and of course he would. Of course he would. And he's saying things like, oh, Grain Macer, Austin, Massachusetts. Some poor guy's life is ruined now because you told me it was in Austin, Massachusetts. You meant Boston or Austin, Texas. Are you going to feed the snake, Grainmaker? Are you going to feed the snake? Can I feed the snake? Can I feed Mitch? Sorry, I'll go on a road trip rant all you want. I can't wait to get the Grainmaker Pod and I back together doing 4 Exposure, by the way, as I shamelessly plug my stuff as I do this show, because I miss that man, and we have a good time on Saturday mornings. And we'll be back next week. Not this weekend because it's Boris' big stream, but the following week we'll come back big because the Revolution Rumble, baby, is going down at LPW. 30 people are entering. It's going to be wild. We'll be talking about it. You'll want to see that on the 22nd. But yeah, Triple H is coming out, and he's saying that, he's doing this shtick, people in wrestling always have a difference of opinion, and everything is subjective, and whatever metric you choose to decide who's the best wrestler, who's the greatest of all time, is all subjective, and it's all up for debate. And he goes, well, I've had the distinct pleasure of being able to see it from all sides, whether it be a fan, a performer, a CEO, a promoter, and by every metric and every account, everyone in this building can agree that it's the one, the only John Cena is the GOAT, the undisputed GOAT. So he's putting Cena over hard, as he should. We're in Boston. That's what everybody's here to see. They're absolutely chanting for Cena. They want it to happen. I will say when he came out, I did pop. He is a politician. And Fernando, that's okay. He's a wrestling promoter. That's his job. His job is to tell me that John Cena is the greatest of all time, whether I believe it or not, whether I believe CM Punk is the greatest of all time, or whether you believe whoever's the greatest of all time, right? Like, that is his gig. And I never mind a wrestling promoter for going crazy. The only thing I will say, what I wish he would have told me, if he would have told me this afternoon that the landscape of professional wrestling was going to change tonight, I would have been like, okay, cool, Trips, you changed it. Last week he said that, and he gave me about the same show that he's always given me on a Monday Night Raw, to the extent where I said, like, did the landscape really change last week? I think the landscape changed a lot tonight. Now, obviously, the Cena stuff, the War Games things that were going on, all of that kind of stuff, the new tag champs we got at the end of the night, the new Intercontinental Champion that we'll talk about here in a second. This is landscape changing stuff that we had tonight, and they should have went all out because it is Cena's last time in Boston. It's his one of his final appearances of the four. We got MSG next week. We got Survivor Series. Then we obviously got the Survivor, the Saturday Night's Main Event, his last match. Tonight, landscapes changed, and there was a lot of good stuff in the Cena promo of it all as well that I really enjoyed, that I thought was well done on his part. Because listen, we could talk about his run all we want. At least it sounds like they're trying to make a few things right here at the end. But one quick note, when Trips came out, the Triple H sucks sign really stood out, and it got confiscated, and I thought, what a weird night to debut your Triple H sucks sign that you wrote on your poster board with your markers, and he gives you exactly what you would have wanted to see happen with Cena in Boston. He actually gave you exactly what you want if you're a John Cena guy. Maybe the Triple H sucks signs guy is not a Cena guy either. I don't know. I thought that was kind of funny, but he brings out Cena. Obviously, it's a huge pop to the point where even like this Cena chants were getting drowned out because it was such a huge moment. Thank you, Cena chants erupt, and Cena soaking it in, and he does the thing. He thanks Boston. Signs should not. Now, Fernando, that's a great debate. So should wrestling signs be confiscated? Because that's a big topic this week. Is AEW's had signs, people confiscating signs in AEW, WWE, the West Side Gun thing where he got removed. It wasn't a sign related, but if you're going into their house, I think you kind of have to play by their rules. If they don't want it on their TV, then they're gonna take it. Do I think it's cool? Like, would I go to a WWE event with the Triple H suck signs? Probably not. Would I go to any event and with I don't know. In that moment, and it's right there on the back of the whole shot. So of course I think they're gonna take it. But there's a war on sides. Absolutely. That's a great way to put it. But I think also if you're going to go to these things, do it in good taste, right? Like, I don't know do we have our gripes with Triple H as a promoter? Yeah, sure. Have we had issues where we're, like I said last week, you told me the landscape's going to change and you gave me the same show. Like, yes, I've got issues with some of the booking decisions, but I don't know if I would go front and center and make that be the focal point of the shot. Because I don't want that to take away from... Because, again, Cena said a lot of really good stuff in this promo. He 1,000% thanked Boston, talked about how much it meant to him to be there, how he started out as a kid, going to WWF shows. They even had to bleep the F because you can't say that anymore due to the lawsuit. But then he said something super interesting that I don't know he didn't dive further into it, but he kept talking about how he wants to give opportunities on the way out. That's why the Last Time Is Now tournament is happening. And he said at Saturday night's main event, whoever wins the Last Time Is Now tournament will face him in his final match. But in addition to that, it's going to be an exhibition for main roster talent versus up-and-coming NXT talent. And that got my wheels going because I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, okay, so there's not going to be any real stakes at Saturday Night because obviously focus is going to be on Cena's final match, which it absolutely should. Hi, Scott T. Welcome to the chat. Hope you enjoyed this Monday night's Raw. Let me know how you thought about it. Everybody in the chat, feel free to spam that like button, share button. If you want to guarantee that your comment or statement gets read on the air, feel free to leave your super chat. And also, all of the super chats this week will go towards the donation pool for Boris's Extreme. So we're going to make sure that Boris gets taken care of proper. So if you want to leave me a super chat, I am donating that to Big Bad Boris's Extreme. And I'll even do you one favor, guys. If anybody donates anything, I will match it for Boris's stream. So we'll double it up for Big Bad Boris for the Extreme. I call it the Extreme Extravaganza. That's what I'm called. But anyway, I liked the addition of NXT to John because everybody in the world of wrestling, if you were a fan of Cena's growing up and you fell off, if you are a diehard fan since day one and you're still here, if you're a casual fan and you know who Cena is and you want to watch, everybody is going to be tuned in on December 13th for Saturday. So he's saying, look, I know everyone's coming in for me. Check out some of these up-and-coming people on Tuesday nights that maybe you haven't seen. Because it's still technically, I know that a lot of people, myself included, have been pretty pleased with NXT's overall run, and they're very consistent. They've got a lot of great talent, but it's still the third brand, and a lot of people don't watch it as much as they watch Raw and SmackDown. So you have an opportunity to really showcase whoever you want it to be, whether it be a Blake Monroe, Ricky Saints. If you want to get a little further down the well, you could Josh Briggs if you really want to. Kalani Jordan. I know she's the TNA Knockouts champ, but she's still NXT. Trick Williams. You could do a lot of fun things where you get these really fun, interesting main roster matchups versus NXT talent, and then we get to see them on a big stage. They get more eyes on them, and then hopefully that draws more attention to NXT, more attention to them. I think that's a really cool thing. Because look, his run had been, I haven't really enjoyed it from start to finish. There's been pieces of it that I've liked. When he said he was doing this, he wanted to do the opportunistic thing. At the beginning, that was part of the reason he was doing it. And then they went down the weird rabbit hole of him turning heel for the summer and doing all these things. They've really done a good job in the sense of like cramming all this stuff into it. It's whether it's been clunky or not, that's up for debate. Like Triple H said, it's all subjective. So if you thought it was clunky, then I get it. I did as well. But I like that at the end here, Cena is putting people over. So he's talking. He's about to thank Boston and go on his merry way. And the dirty Dominic Mysterio comes out. My guy, Dom. Now, I was angling for Dominic Mysterio to get the final match before all of this tournament stuff. Maria, if you believe he fumbled it, I don't disagree. I think that there was a lot of missteps. 100%. I think, like I said, I think some of it was cool. I think some of the spots were fun. I think they fumbled the heel turn and had to like flip the switch really quick, and then it took a little bit to get going. But here we are. We're towards the end. We're 3 appearances down. We could split hairs about it all day. Let's just hope these last 3 appearances go as well as tonight did. So Dirty Dom comes out. He's basically like pissed. You know, his celebration got ruined. What's Triple H going to do about that? He doesn't care what this old man's got to say. Any era, Dom would beat his ass. He had literally said, I would beat your ass. And Cena said, look, Dom, I'm going to give you an out. You could leave right now, and we'll call it good. But if you keep talking, I'm going to have to step up and take care of business because I feel invincible tonight because I got the Boston crowd behind me, and then they cheer, and they're like, So Dom's talking shit. Triple H steps up. It goes, no better time than now. No better place than here. John Cena, if you're good with it, you can face Dirty Dom for the Intercontinental Championship tonight, right? And Dom all of a sudden big bug-eyed because, he thought he was just going to talk shit and walk away. But no, he could have left. I mean, the line about out of respect for your father, I don't think really sat well with old Dom there. So he had to decide, like, in that moment, am I going to step up and take care of business? And he stepped up, and they had a match. And let's be honest, the match was pretty much how I anticipated a John Cena Dominic Mysterio match to go. Dom was trying to get out of it any way he could. He throws Cena to the outside, hope for the 10 count. Cena would go for an AA. Dom would squirrel out of it. It was a solid match. And before we get to the finish, this is a huge moment for Dominic Mysterio. This is one of those, like, feather in his caps. He gets to say, I wrestled John Cena on his farewell tour. I got to be in this match. And yes, I lost the IC title to him because he did lose the IC title. There was that, the ref spot at the end. Dom goes for the chair spot. They both do the chair spot. The Eddie spot. Dom goes down. Cena goes down. Cena winks at him. The AA kicks the ref into the face, and then there's the tap out finish. There's all that shenanigan stuff to kind of keep Dom kind of strong a little bit. And then boom, 1, 2, 3, attitude adjustment. Dom's champ. But it was a good moment for Dom. Dom has come so far as a complete superstar where he's got the in-ring, the mic work. He's got the heat. He got heat tonight. But last week, he got the biggest pop at Saturday Night's Main Event as the heel when he came out with Penta and Rusev for the triple threat. So he's getting booed because he's supposed to get booed because ain't nobody cheering for him against Cena in Boston. And, shout out to Dom. He loses his IC title. John Cena completes his Grand Slam. He's completed the Grand Slam. He is your Intercontinental Champion for at least 3 more shows. Which I had said when this all went down that I figured we'd find a way. I thought it would happen at Survivor Series. I thought Cena would beat Dom at Survivor Series. And then Cena would go, hey, I've got this IC title now. Let's go ahead and throw this into the mix to whoever wins the Last Time Is Now tournament. Then Cena goes out on his back in the Last Time Is Now tournament, crowning a new IC title on his champion on his way out. And we do it there. But they decided to do it here. I can't complain. Cena's the winner. The entire locker room celebrates. They have a moment with Ray. They have a moment with Sheamus, which foreshadow. Sheamus is in the Last Time Is Now tournament, and he's never won the IC title either. I wonder if that would be a fun little moment December 13th, but we'll have to see if Sheamus wins. Anyway, then we get the Logan Paul recap of last week, everything that went down with him, the Vision, CM Punk, blah, blah, blah. Cooling everybody down. And now this is where I said, like, the crowd, like, oof, like the wind was out of the sails. They had their big moment. I saw Jimmy from the queue of the Stash Club Wrestling. I got ripping his shirt off. He was in the crowd, like, the place went nuts for Cena, and then they kind of settled down for everything else. I'm surprised we didn't thread Cena throughout the show just a little bit more, maybe some more little backstage stuff, or they're just keeping it tight. I don't know, not to take away from anybody else. But we get the first matchup in the Last Time Is Now tournament. It's Rusev versus Damian Priest. Damian Priest is nursing the eye injury that Aleister Black gave him, so of course my immediate thought was that's going to be a focal point of this match, and it absolutely was. Rusev worked over the eye. Him and Damian Priest, like, Rusev and Priest had a really fun back and forth. They've got a lot of great chemistry. I really enjoyed the match. I would have liked to have seen it, not so heavily reliant on the eye, which of course you're going to go for as Rusev the heel. You see a weakness, you exploit the weakness. You get the win because of said weakness. Rusev moves on in the Last Time Is Now tournament. Big win for Rusev. Rusev has the history with Cena that Damian Priest does not. So there is that tie in there where it's like, oh, remember back in the day, the United States Championship stuff with Cena? Very cool. What did I write next? Oh, yeah, that was about the notes for that match. Like I said, solid stuff. Then we get Maxine Dupri backstage. She's talking to Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce is asking how the training is going. And she says it's going well, but I can only train so much, and I don't want to train too much, and I'm ready. And I'm ready whenever you're ready to give me the match with Becky Lynch. Now, I said in the initial part of this, like, that was a weird decision to be like, I want to go off and train. I'm not ready, because that's like, strike while you got the iron hot. Like, let's not lose this Maxine momentum. They did a decent way of like tying it together with Becky saying that Pierce told her to go home and relax and cool off because she's fired up, and Maxine went to get a little more training from. I wonder who this friend is that was training her, because I that's where I was gonna. Maxine, is she getting back together with Master Gable, as Maria says in the chat? I don't know if it was her or maybe it was Natty. You know, Natty showed her the ropes too. Natty's been on a book tour. I heard the book's great. I can't wait to get it. I'm excited. Shout out to Natty, because they did talk about this book a little bit on the show, so I didn't want to gloss over that. But yes, Maxine says she's ready. She's ready and willing. So Pierce says next week, MSG, Becky Lynch, Maxine Dupri, Intercontinental Championship, and Maxine accepts. Becky Lynch comes up from behind, knocks her down, grabs her, and says, if you're ready for the big time, here you go. And then just walked away, which I thought was really cool, because I think Becky Lynch could have absolutely beat her down, beat her up, but I don't think, even in story, I don't think, based on Becky's promo last week, I don't think Becky wants us to leave any doubt. I don't think she wants to have Maxine not be at 100% when she beats her, because then you're sitting there going like, well, you had to beat her up last week and, you know, mess up her ribs or whatever to beat her, Becky. I think Becky wants to beat Maxine at Maxine's best, and I think Maxine just wants to win. I think Maxine's going to do some stuff to try to win. I think we're going to see some foot on the ropes type stuff. I think she's going to, because she knows, like, if I don't get this, they may not book this again. I'd say that they probably would. She's fantastic. Maria, I think that that's tough. If you're asking me, chat, if I am going to pick against Becky Lynch, the man, my favorite women's wrestler, that's tough. Do I think they should pull the trigger? Absolutely. I think it's tough. I think once in a while you should, you know, pull the trigger on these people that you've built up week by week by week and get us invested in them and get us raring to go with them, and then they never win. I think that never works out. I think you should. I think you, even if Maxine only held it for one pay-per-view, at least it's saying, hey, remember when you used to get booed out of buildings, you used to get booed out of arenas because you couldn't wrestle, according to the fans. That wasn't me. I'm just saying the fans in those arenas would be like, you can't wrestle. Those chants would echo to the point where it was devastating for Maxine in real life. And she's come all this way. Becky Lynch, to Becky Lynch's credit, has absolutely made Maxine Dupri look like an absolute stud. And I'm not saying it's all on Becky. I think Maxine has come a long way, but she had a perfect dance partner in Becky Lynch, who, for all of the criticism that Becky Lynch gets, has elevated Maxine to this level of, like, we're talking about a potential intercontinental champion in Maxine Dupri. Can she beat Becky Lynch 3 straight times? In kayfabe, that's not easy to do. Becky Lynch's number does not get called like that often. She's one of the toughest women in the locker room, so it's going to take a lot. But I wouldn't hate it. I would not hate it next week if Maxine left as the Intercontinental title, and then they did something different with Becky Lynch. You know, they found something for her, maybe in the world title scene. But we'll get to the world title scene, because that's also a problem. The Punk stuff. I love CM Punk. I'm a huge CM Punk fan. I'm a big stan. But he came out and he was pissed. Oh, he was pissed. I get it. And then He's ready for an ass kicking, Boston. He's going to fight anybody. He's not here to. He wants to fight, and he wants to fight Logan Paul. He calls Logan Paul a bigger piece of garbage than he thought. And this is where I hope it's strictly a War Games thing. But I don't necessarily. I'm not vibing with this idea that we just built up Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker into these unstoppable forces, and then you need another frontman. You did all of that stuff with Braun and Bronson. Again, amidst circumstances that I think you weren't ready for, in the sense of Seth being injured and getting hurt, and that really threw a wrench in your plan. But to just throw another mouthpiece in front of the Bronze, like, it just doesn't fit for me. Like, I understand Logan's reasoning, because Logan Paul's reasoning for joining up with the Vision was like, hey, Punk, like, I'm not stupid. I felt that tsunami, and I don't want to feel that every week. And listen, if I took a tsunami from Bronson Reed, I might join him. The old adage, you can't beat him, join him thing. Why not, right? Like, I don't know. I think it's a smart play on Logan Paul's part, but I need more of a reason why Logan chose that, other than I just didn't want to get beat up every week. Like, what was the agreement with Paul? Did Paul Heyman have to talk Braun Breaker and Bronson into this being a good move for them? Because we've shifted the focus off of those two and are now focused on Punk and Paul, Logan Paul, that is, and that we did all that work to say Braun, he was carrying the championship. He looks good. Hey, we only got one guy to worry about. Like, you said all these things, and then you get, because War Games is in 2 weeks, we're just going to forget. We're going to forget about all the stuff that you just did with these other two. And Fernando, yeah, it's got to be just for War Games. I hope it is, but I still think it's kind of, like, it could still be War Games centric. You could still have this and it be a War Games centric thing, but please don't take away from all of the work you just did for one match. Keep building Braun Breaker being like this just rabid dog who can't be contained. Misfit Wrestling Podcast, welcome into the chat. Said, remember they chose to put Nia Jackson War Games over. They did. They did. I think that they did Nia dirty in that match, to be fair. They asked her to do more than she was capable of. But that's for another conversation for another day. I'm still stuck on this, like, Braun Breaker, you have him. He's right there. He's worth the shot. At least make him almost when Solo Sikoa joined the Bloodline where Paul couldn't handle it, but ramp that up to like a 10 for Breaker and have him questioning Paul. Like, I would love to see that tension where it's like, Paul, why is Logan Paul a part of this? Like, we were doing this thing. This was us. We put in the work. Logan ain't done nothing. Yeah, he knocked out CM Punk, but I could knock out CM Punk, That's kind of where I don't know. Either way, I'm going to be fine with it. So either way, Punk calls all four of them. He says all five. He goes, I want all five of you guys at the ring. Paul Heyman, you count as two because he's fat, because those fat guys count as two. Good job. No, Punk, come on, man. You're better than that. Calling us fat guys out. Yeah. And what happens? What always happens when some babyface is in peril, who shows up but Jey Uso? So the Vision surrounds the ring. I did like Logan Paul kind of slapping the camera out of the cameraman, like, get out of my way. I did kind of like that. That was kind of fun. You don't see that too often in wrestling, in WWE anyway. So Jey Uso comes out. He's helping CM Punk. Shocker. Jey Uso always helps the babyfaces. I still think he's the wild card in this scenario because of all the stuff that's gone on. I still think he's the wild card that might turn in the War Games match. But then Cody Rhodes comes out and he evens the score. So we got CM Punk, we got Cody Rhodes, and we got Jey Uso, and they fight off the Vision. Shocker. That's how that goes. And then backstage, Punk's fired up. He says, I'm sick of this, Pierce. Like, I'm done with the games. I've got my team. You tell Heyman to get his team. And then Pierce calls over old William Regal, and we get a War Games. I can't do it as well as William Regal. So That actually hurt my throat to just do it to that level, so don't judge me. Do not judge me. Fernando saying LA Knight will be out there. So listen, it's 3-on-3 right now. So there's theoretically you could do 5-on-5 if you really wanted to push it. You could go to 6, but I don't know how you get to 6. So we'll just say 5-on-5. Who would you guys like to see? LA Knight would be in there, but LA Knight's got beef with Punk. He's got beef with Jay. Would he go to the Vision side? Are we going to get a heel LA Knight? I don't know where he would fit in this. Listen, I'm an LA Knight guy. I'm cool with that. But I don't necessarily know where he fits at the moment because he could go either way. Because I know he's a pretty over babyface. Those Slim Jim commercials they were playing all night were pretty cool. But yeah, we're that. The Cody Rhodes All Stars Survivor Series War Games 29. It's gonna be a good time. But yeah, I'm not quite sold on this Vision yet. Like I need a little bit more. Just give me a little bit more of like convincing that Logan Paul is now your guy. But I digress. We have a World Championship match, the Women's World Championship match. Roxanne, I almost said Roxanne. Raquel Rodriguez. I feel like Wade Barrett. He does that all the time. He stumbles over that all the time. Gets her opportunity against Stephanie Vaquer. Stephanie Vaquer comes out with Nikki Bella. Roxanne Perez comes out with Raquel Rodriguez, of course. They've been feuding over the last couple weeks. This match reminded me, and I hope it reminded other people, of how good Raquel Rodriguez is. She had a fantastic showing against Stephanie Vaquer. Her and Stephanie was back and forth. I just was like, I always forget how good Raquel is because she sometimes gets overlooked in the Judgment Day scenario, and then like everybody always talks about how amazing Roxanne Perez is, and rightfully so. Roxanne's great. But Raquel, in these moments, you put her in these spots, she absolutely crushes it. When she took that devil's kiss and lifted up Stephanie McKeer, got out of it, like, Jesus Christ. I was just like, Big Mommy Cool came to play today. She came to wrestle today. She said, I am getting this world championship opportunity, and I am showing out. And Stephanie McKeer matched her beat for beat as she does. She's one of the best wrestlers on the planet. Breakout star 2025 and possibly women's wrestler of 2025. Like, that doesn't happen very often where you get the breakout and you're at the top of the food chain all in 1 year. But yeah, this match ended how it should. Stephanie retains. Then, shocker at the end there. Roxanne Perez jumps in the ring and beats her up. Nikki Bella fights her off. Judgment Day go up the ramp. Nikki and Stephanie hug. Nikki raises her hand. And then Nikki Bella just clocks her. We all knew it was coming. It was one of the worst kept secrets or rumors or thoughts or however you want to spin it in wrestling. I'm a fan of Nikki Bella, Hall of Famer Nikki Bella. So she clocks Stephanie Vaquer with the belt. She holds the belt over top of her, goes to the apron, takes off the red Fearless, goes to the black Fearless, which is her way, black Fearless shirt, which is her way of signaling, I'm a heel now. Come at me. Here's the thing. I like Nikki Bella. She's a Hall of Famer, and rightfully so. She did a lot more than she gets credit for the women's division. Do I need her versus Stephanie Vaquer? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I need it. Will it be a good match? I think so. I think having Stephanie Vaquer have this moment of like, I trusted you, I brought you in, and Nikki turning on her going like, this is the business, kid. Like, don't trust anybody. We're all gunning for what you got, I think is a fun lesson to teach Stephanie, and I think you'll get a new edge out of Vaquer out of it. So I think there's some good things that we could build from it. There's a bunch of other women on the roster right now that maybe I would like to see the spot, but getting a win over a Hall of Famer on your championship resume as you're building this like fantastic resume isn't a bad thing. Will it be a 3-match feud? Probably not. You'll probably get 1, maybe 2 out of this. we'll see. They're not, as it stands right now, involved in War Games, but they might be. Maybe those are the last two spots. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Maria says Nikki has no business being in that spot. If that's how you feel, listen. I don't think she's that harsh as she has no business. I just think I need a little more out of her before she's in the spot. But it's going to be fine. I've been thinking that that's where they were going to go anyway. And like I said, having Stephanie learn the lesson of like, I trusted a veteran, told me like, we're friends, I got your back, and then she turned on me, and now I can't trust anybody. And she's kind of like, it's me against the world type thing, because that's one of the things that like with Stephanie Vakira that has been, I don't want to say like a downer for me, but it's just one of the things like she's so happy to be there. She's always like, I'm so happy to be here. This is my dream, And I interviewed her, by the way, on this very channel. If you want to see that, it's up here right now. And she said the same thing. And when you're talking to me, that's cool. But when you're in, I want that edge of you just like, yeah, I am happy to be here, but I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to dominate and become the best women's wrestler of all time. And you can still do that and be a face. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So maybe this will be that little edge to her. Then we get the second match in the Last Time Is Now tournament. And it's Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sheamus. And the whole time this match was going on, I was like, it's Sheamus. It's got to be Sheamus. Like, Sheamus is probably going to be in the finals of this tournament. I have this feeling that that's where we're going to go. Because, like I said, it makes sense now that John Cena's the IC title that he'd hand his Grand Slam championship off to a guy who's trying to complete his Grand Slam. Why not? Because at some point, we got to give Sheamus his due. We got to give Sheamus this. When's he going to get the IC title? Who knows? I don't. Do you? I don't. This would be great. But Shinsuke Nakamura, he was on tonight, man. They were hit. It was physical. It was back and forth. It was a perfect Shinsuke and Sheamus match. They had the nice gesture at the end where they shook hands because they both understood the stakes. They both have history with Cena. I liked it. I really did. I thought this was fun. I like to see that. Those are my kind of matches. I had a good time. I like the hard hitting, just matches with two veteran guys. So that was good for me. So he moves on. Sheamus moves on. That's my pick right now. That's the front runner for me to win this thing. But we had four, but technically three announced new competitors have entered the chat and may take over the front running for Sheamus here. Javon Evans will take on Gunther next week. It's in New York City. Such a rough spot if you're Javon Evans. And I know the reason that Evans is in this match is because he's going to bump his ass off for Gunther. Is there a world where we see Javon Evans upset the ring general? I know a lot of people, a lot of friends of mine, a lot of colleagues of mine, a lot of people in the industry think Gunther is the final match at Saturday's main event for John Cena and he retires the GOAT. But I want to live and I want to operate in a world where Javon Evans takes a beating for like 10 minutes and then catches Gunther napping and rolls him up and wins this thing. We have this moment where like, oh shit, Javon Evans just took out the biggest guy on the roster, the biggest threat, and he's moving on in this tournament. Who would have thought? I could hear it now. I could see it now. I could see Testator going crazy on commentary, but it's Gunther. And they protect him so much and so well. And he's been booked so strongly his entire time in WWE that kind of stuff doesn't happen to Gunther. But that's kind of why I think like it would be the biggest shock of like, oh shit, did Gunther just lose this thing and that was everyone's pick for the winner of this tournament? That blows my mind. So I don't know how y'all feel about it. Let me know in the chat. If I'm crazy, let me know. If I'm not crazy, agree. I don't know. Just that's kind of where my head goes. If Javon Evans defeats Gunther on Monday night, you heard it here first. You heard it right here tonight, immediately following when he got announced for said match, that he's going to upset the world in New York, because that's where dreams are made of, or whatever Alicia Keys sang in that Jay-Z song. So New York, boom. We also got Solo Sikoa. He got announced. He's got history with Cena, just minor history, but history nonetheless. And Adam Pearce pulled the Nick Aldis and he goes, ooh, you're gonna have to tune in. I'm gonna save this one for Monday. So we have two surprises now. Are they outside of the company surprises? Or are they TNA surprises? Like Solo Sikoa, does he face Joe Hendry or something like that? Or maybe like a Mike Santana? Because this tournament was designed to give some Are we going to see some NXT involvement? I know Javon is still technically NXT, but he's really been flirting heavy with the main roster. Will we get some NXT guys in the mix? I don't know. I'm not sure who it is or what the plan is. I mean, listen, we could recklessly speculate forever, and I'm here for it. Let it be Edge. Let it be Copeland. Let it be Christian. Let it be Daniel Bryan. Let him come back. Let it be Kurt Angle. I don't care. Give me something crazy. I'm for all of it. Let me know in the chat who you think of the surprises, because LA Knight's got a surprise. Now, listen, I petitioned that it should be Nikki Bella. Now that she's a heel, let her finish her story against John Cena. Cena wouldn't let her use water in the kitchen when they lived together. If you ever watched Total Divas, I still haven't forgiven Cena for that. That's where water's supposed to go, John, in the kitchen. That's where the main sources of water is at. Kitchen, bathroom, laundry room. If you have a pool. But like, she's in the house, she's making dinner, she wants to use the water, get it all over the counter, don't get mad. Anyway, I digress. I can go on for days. Hey, we're at the main event. It's going quick. It was a good show. And it was a quick show. Like, I thought it was going to go 3. It went 2.5. I'm all for that. 2:15. I'm all for that. But we have the women's tag team champions, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, just hit 100 days as of today, taking on the Kabuki Warriors in your main event. The Kabuki Warriors have been getting the one up on the tag champs. I have loved, before we dive into any of the match and any of the fit stuff, I have absolutely enjoyed the refocus on the women's tag team division. Now, I don't know if that's because another company debuted some women's tag titles and they're trying to say, hey, our tag division's better. I don't care, because I think it's best for everybody. I think we've all been saying, like, you have these tag team championships, you have them, use them, book them right, book them strong. Putting Bliss and Charlotte Flair together, they hit lightning in a bottle. You got Lash and Nia Jax, as we saw in the end of this main event here. You've got the Kabuki Warriors that they've built up to be super strong. Bayley and Lyra have been super fun. You've got B-Fab and Michin over on SmackDown. You've got options. You got Chelsea Green's now a double champ. She's kind of nice. But if you want to throw her and Alba Fire in the mix, you can do it. They've refocused the division, and I've loved it. And the Kabuki Warriors have been just absolute menaces since they have gotten back together. They terrorized Io Sky. They have been in Charlotte and Alexa's business. It only made sense that we'd get this crash course here tonight, and we got it. And the match absolutely delivered. All parties are just four of the best women on the roster. In some way, shape, or form, they're in the top. You know it. We all know it. They're so good at what they do. It ends. Again, I know that we're setting up for War Games. I completely understand it. But I would have loved to have seen a Kabuki Warriors like clean finish here. But again, I know it's Charlotte. I know it's Alexa. They're two all-timers. We got to protect them. War Games. But Lash and Nia coming in and getting in the mix and causing a distraction at the end there. And then we get the Kabuki Warriors get insane elbow at the end. Boom. Winner. The match was all misfit to a point is I think they were trying to get to the end here, but I also didn't think that like anything in this match was bad. Like I didn't hate it. Like I had a good time with it. I think it was a good match. Again, I think that we are focusing on War Games because it's in like 2 weeks, and they were like, "Oh shit, it's in like 2 weeks. We gotta ramp this up. We don't even have teams." As of last week, I'm sitting here going, "Who are going to be the people in these teams?" Before I sat down on Monday night, so I wasn't even sure. But Lash Legend, Nia Jax get involved, kind of caused a distraction. Kabuki Warriors are your new women's tag team champions. I think that that's the right decision. Let them run through the division for a while. If you want to keep Charlotte and Alexa together, you can. But if you also want to throw some challengers at Jade Cargill over on SmackDown, you've got 2 that could do it. And we had that really fun stare down between Charlotte Flair and Jade Cargill. It was like the 14th stare down that they've had. So maybe this is the one that'll get the spark ignited for the match. Because Charlotte, to her credit, she's turned the baby face. People like her. She's did it. Alexa Bliss did it. We got Charlotte Flair cheered, and Jade being a heel. Boom. There you go. So that's what we got. And then, of course, the beatdown ensues. Kabuki Warriors, Lash Legend, Nia Jax, they beat the piss out of Charlotte. Alexa at the end there. Io Sky comes out to try to even the odds. The numbers game catches up with Io Sky, and they continue to wail on her. And then Mommy returns. Rhea Ripley is back, face mask and all, coming off injury. She comes. She's the equalizer. The babyface team stands absolutely tall. And then Rhea Ripley yells to the 4 heels, War Games. So that is your War Games match on the ladies' side. You're going to get Rhea and Io, Charlotte and Alexa, and then you're going to get Lash, Nia, and the Kabuki Warriors. Coda Burris, welcome to the chat, friend. They say who is the solo mystery person going to be on Raw next week? I don't know. I wish I had an idea. Now, I think it's MSG. I think they're going to want to swing big. I think I think this is where you say this is somebody that doesn't work here. And I mean, it's a layup to say it's a TNA superstar, somebody that we're not familiar with. I don't know exactly. Like, I know the MFT stuff is big on SmackDown right now, and it's a big storyline, but I don't know if they look at Solo Sikoa and go, he absolutely has to win this thing. So there could be a situation there where he takes a loss to a bigger person and they give him a big time match. I don't know. I really don't. I'm trying to think of anybody within reason that has this that would be somebody for Cena. And like I said earlier, like I'm all about recklessly speculating. Maybe it's Ryback, dude. I don't know. I really don't. You say because Charlotte isn't in the world title picture. To be fair, she's always in the world title picture, my friend. Charlotte is always one step away from that world championship. It's the Charlotte Flair effect. And it is real. But it'll be a fun match. Won't be a bad time. Listen, I've been very happy with the evolution of Charlotte Flair since she's returned. I was there when she returned at Royal Rumble. I know how it went early on. I'm glad that we have found a reason to not boo her excessively. This Friday's mystery partner for LA Knight. Now, I don't know if you're going to do 2 big, massive, like outside the company moves in a week. Could that be the R-Truth spot where he gets LA Knight versus R-Truth? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. They could pull off 2 big out. I just don't know who it is. It's got to be TNA, right? So I'm trying to think of the TNA roster. And this is TNA's fault, right? They went dark after Bound for Glory for like a month. So, like, could it be Trey Miguel? Like, would you put Trey Miguel in the Last Time Is Now tournament? Could you definitely, like I said, maybe Trick Williams? Like, Oba Femi is out there. Like, where's Oba Femi at? But here's the thing with Oba. If you put Oba Femi in that thing, I think he has to win it. I think that you have to keep him super strong. So I don't know if you want to put him in a tournament where he would have to lose, because it doesn't make sense for Oba Femi versus John Cena, unless John Cena is true to his word and he wants to absolutely put over somebody deserving and like somebody that could use the rub. But then if you put the John Cena rub on Oba Femi, then you have to, come hell or high water, like, run with it. And if for whatever reason Oba Femi were to flop on the main roster, you go, we wasted Cena's last match on him. And I don't want that for him. And I don't think he would flop, but we've seen many of No Doubt or NXT people go up to the main roster and it just not work. So we shall see. I'm excited. I listen, like I said, Green Shirt Man was there tonight. So I said I got to be there tonight. This is normally my PLE Triple P post show that I do with Ella and friends, and sometimes I have guests on, and sometimes I just go solo, and I hope you guys don't mind that I go solo. I like talking to you guys. I like just shooting the shit. I said Cena's in Boston one last time, his hometown. I knew, like, when the rumor mill started swirling, something big was going to happen tonight. He is now an Intercontinental Champion. Whether you like it or not, he's Grand Slam champion. I had a fine show. I had a fun time tonight. I know it was a little dull at the end there towards, like, the crowd really kind of took themselves out of it. But overall, I had a great time. I like watching wrestling. I like getting to talk to you guys. Next Monday, John Cena's last night. John Cena's last Raw. His last Raw ever. And see, that's the other thing. Before we get out of here, I'll vamp on this for a couple minutes, and then I'll let you guys get on. I know it's late on a Monday night, and, like, if you're like me, you have a morning job, and it's snowing right now in my neck of the woods, so I have to get up extra early and make sure that I can get out of the driveway. The way that they booked this is like, so he showed up tonight, won the IC title. He'll show up next week, and then it's Survivor Series. When is this tournament going to be finished up? Because I would like, and I hope that they do something where they say, John, can you record something? Can we get some type of pre-tape from you? Because you're going to have this person win this tournament and get no kind of, like, back and forth with Cena to build it up. Like, it doesn't need a big build. It's Cena's last match. We're all going to watch. We're all going to be tuned in. So it doesn't need but I would like some type of, like, I won the match, and I'm going to show you that I am. And it's just going to be him talking to Cena sitting at home, or whoever it is. It's going to be Joe Hendry talking to, I'm just throwing that out there. Like, Sheamus is just, like, again, whoever it is, it doesn't need. But if it's somebody, let's say it's Javon. Let's say Javon Evans runs the table, wins this turn. He's going to have no face-to-face interaction with John Cena, which would do wonders for him in the build. Get to know Javon. Cena's putting him over while still telling him, like, hey, I'm not going to make it easy on you, kid. Like, Cena's really good at that kind of stuff where he can put you over and make you look like $1 million, but also tell you in the same breath that he's going to kick your ass. He's very good at that, but we're not going to get that. So we'll see. It's a very interesting stretch here to end the year of 2025. We have like 3 more Raws or 4 more Raws left, something like that. Like, we're running close to the end here. Cena's down to his final 3 appearances, so who knows? Maybe I'll come back next week. He'll be in NYC next week, so maybe I'll show up next week and do this again, because it is kind of a fun little way to end the year. But I appreciate everybody who stopped in the chat and hung out and chatted with me on an impromptu Triple P, the Pluggo's PLE post show. Like I said, feel free to hit that QR code at the bottom there and donate to a very good cause. 100% of the money on TwitchBit subscriptions, QR codes, and super chats will be donated to the Edmonton chapter of the Canadian Mental Health Association. And I love that for Boris. It's a 40-hour stream. I'm going to shamelessly plug myself and say that Mrs. Pluggo and I will be on it on Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. as it's Mrs. Boris versus Mrs. Pluggo 3, the final showdown, quote unquote, because you never say never in wrestling. We're going to test the ladies on their wrestling trivia because it's 1-1, and that's where we're at. And there's plenty of other cool things. If you want to know what's going on in that block of time, go to @BB on all social medias, especially on Twitter. He's been putting out each block on it every day. Check it out. If you stay here for all your fun. We got a lot of fun stuff coming up here at Love Wrestling. I got a lot of fun stuff coming up. You can find me at Pluggo on all your social media platforms. You search Pluggo, you find his face. I'll be back here Thursday night with JPJ from Between Two Beards at B2Beards on all socials to see who we got coming on this Thursday night. I actually think Boris is stopping by for a little bit to talk about the major stream that's going down this weekend. We've got the brunch gimmick. We've got interviews. We got Love Pro Wrestling matches all up right now on this channel. So when you leave me, go get lost in some LBW. Go get lost in some of the fun interviews that we have that I've done. Go do all that fun stuff. And thank you so very much for hanging out with me on Triple P on an impromptu Monday night for Cena's last go at Boston. He is your Grand Slam champion. What a wild ride. We will see you guys next time.